I don't know about you, but to me, there really is no better way to get to know the culture of a country than by trying out the food. And if you're wondering where to eat when you're in Seoul, South Korea, well then you're in luck, as in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite places to eat in this wonderful city as someone who has been going twice a year for the last 3 years. Also, whilst you can go to any of the places I'm going to be mentioning in this video with your family or friends or both, I went to all of these places by myself, and thus this video is also for you if you're looking for places to eat in Seoul, South Korea as a solo traveler. Something I know that you guys have been asking for. Right then, the scene has been set. Let's get into it, shall we? And I'm gonna start off strong with something that I eat every single time when I'm there. Korean ginseng chicken soup, also known as Samgyetang, is something that instantly reminds me of South Korea whenever or wherever I have it. It consists of a whole young chicken stuffed with glutinous rice, ginseng, garlic, jujube, and chestnuts before it's simmered to soft, fall off the bone perfection in a pot that is now filled with a rich, flavorful broth. Now, whilst Koreans traditionally like having this dish in summer, they believe in the concept of fighting heat with heat. I prefer having this in winter because there really is no better winter comfort dish in my opinion. You will find this staple at many Korean restaurants in Seoul, although if you only had time to go to one, I would recommend Tosokchon Samgyetang, which is by the way located near the Gyeongbokgung Palace, making it an easy inclusion to your Seoul trip itinerary. And if you love Samgyetang, then trying out the North Korea version of it is a must, and this is quite easily, at the moment, one of the most popular restaurants in Seoul. I went slightly after lunch and was told there were no more seats for the day, and actually had to return the next day at a much earlier time in order to secure a spot. The flagship dish at Muguok Seoul is a Northern Korean style interpretation of Samgye Baekban that features tender shredded chicken that is served separately from a creamy soup along with a host of banchan and rice. What I like about this way of serving the dish is that it actually allows you to appreciate all the individual elements of a samgyetang separately. The juiciness of the freshly made chicken, the chicken stock rice, and of course the delicious broth and banchan all eaten together is absolute heaven. And while Samgye Baekban is their flagship dish, I would also recommend you get a serving of their kimchi squid that pairs really quite well with the main act. There is always a queue here, but Muguok Seoul is, in my opinion, totally worth the hype and the wait. Speaking of must-try foods in South Korea, is there really anything more essential than trying out a good KBBQ? It is in fact one of the most sought-after food experiences in South Korea. However, the issue is that you usually do require a group of people to eat with, and so if you're a solo traveler, this next one's for you. Hongojib has several locations across South Korea. I am here at the Myeondong location. You will be seated at a small table with a grill and can order directly from this screen on the side. Once that's done, your meat of choice will be delivered with rice and unlimited banchan, allowing you to grill and eat away in peace. The pricing is also super reasonable, as you can see here, and the quality of the cuts was surprisingly good. And whilst this place is perfect for a solo traveler, it would also suit people who are traveling in small groups or just someone who possibly needs just a little time away from your traveling group, whoever those people might be. Hongojib is definitely a place I recommend adding to your Seoul food itinerary. This next restaurant that we're going to talk about serves up hot pot rice bowls known as sotbap that is literally made for solo diners. The main meal is served in a stone pot with fluffy rice topped with premium toppings that you can choose from, including wagyu, abalone, and more. I got the abalone one, which cost 17,000 Korean won. It was delicious, and my favorite part is in the end where you pour some hot tea over the crispy rice that's left at the bottom of the pot and mix it all up to have it like a congee. So good. But let's now move on to some of my favorite noodle dishes in Seoul. Kalguksu literally translates to knife-cut noodles because the superstar of the show are hand-cut wheat flour noodles that is cooked in a rich, flavorful broth that is typically made from anchovy, chicken, or beef stock topped off with some wontons and fried mincemeat. The noodle serving size is typically generous and is served with some free kimchi, and guys, whilst I will not be talking about kimchi separately, you have to try kimchi when you're in Seoul. It tastes completely different and on another level from the typical kimchi that I have back home, and I think it's because it's loaded with garlic, which I love. And whilst Kalguksu is a noodle dish that you can eat all year round, this next noodle dish is exclusively a summer dish. But it is an acquired taste. Kongguksu, aka soy milk noodle soup, is the definitive summer dish and comprises thin wheat noodles served in a cold soy milk broth made from ground soybeans. Now I know how that sounds on paper, but hear me out. The soy milk broth that is made from ground soybeans result in this creamy, subtly nutty broth that can get really quite addictive. The cold soy broth makes it a perfect summer dish that celebrates the amazing flavors of soy and is quite easily one of my personal favorites. Speaking of summer dishes, I'm also going to quickly cover another cold noodle dish that you must try if you're a spice lover. Bibimguksu comprises wheat noodles mixed with a gochujang based sauce that is garnished with cucumber, kimchi, and a hard-boiled egg. And whilst you can have it all year round, this is typically a summer dish. All of these noodle dishes should be paired with a good kimchi, but also with some good mandu, aka Korean dumplings. They are usually steamed to order and are filled with a mix of minced pork or beef, garlic, and vegetables. Now, if you're already a subscriber, you would know that I usually go to Myeondong Kyoja for all of these. It is a Michelin award-winning restaurant. And they're amazing, but there's usually superbly long queues. And that is why I was pretty excited to actually try out Gangnam Kyoja this visit. You of course are familiar with the Michelin ratings, but what you may not know is that Korea has its own Michelin rating system known as the Blue Ribbon. Whilst Myeondong Kyoja has the Michelin rating, Gangnam Kyoja actually is a multiple Blue Ribbon winner in Korea, making it a popular hotspot for the locals. And also, don't quote me on this, but I heard that Gangnam Kyoja is the brainchild of an ex-chef from Myeondong Kyoja. And whilst Gangnam Kyoja is usually busy, there is no need to queue here, and the dishes taste just as good, if not controversially, in my opinion, better. If you haven't been to either, definitely check out both, but if you've already been to Myeondong Kyoja before, I would recommend making it a point to check out Gangnam Kyoja on your upcoming visit. I do have some more savory dishes to cover, but let's take a break from that momentarily to talk about some sweeter things. Visiting a cafe or tent while you're in Seoul is an absolute must. The aesthetic and pastry game in South Korea is really unparalleled, which is why I imagine it's pretty darn hard to stand out if you're a cafe in this city. I've easily been to a few dozen cafes in South Korea, and so I walked into Standard Bread in Seongsu with relatively low expectations. Yes, the cafe decor is of course A+++, I expected that, but what I did not expect was how freaking good this creme brulee toast was. Everything from the warm fresh brioche toast to the custard sauce to the burnt sugar to the berry jam that you have with the toast was absolute heaven. This is the place that I not only recommend but will come back again, mainly because I now need to try this pistachio toast. That said, sometimes the simpler the better, which is why having a good piece or 10 of salted bread is an absolute must when you're in Seoul. I mean, there really is no Korean pastry more iconic than the salted bread, otherwise known as Ppang. My favorite spot to have this is at the Jaeon-do salted bread. They have 4 locations across Seoul, but I'm here at their Seongsu location. The reason why this is my favorite take on salted bread is the simplicity. Jaeon-do do not add anything else to their salted bread, which is made to be appreciated for its perfectly golden, flaky crust, soft, buttery interior that is enhanced with a delicate sprinkle of sea salt. That's it. Simple, no frills, but so good. That said, apart from Jaeon-do, I also love the salted breads at Baekban, Soha Salt Pon, and Dotori Seoul. And so if you have the time, definitely check those out as well. Yet another iconic sweet treat that you have to try when you're in South Korea is a good hotteok. It is basically a sweet pancake that is crispy on the outside but have a chewy, almost mochi-like texture inside, with the center of the pancake being the best bit as it's filled with a sweet mixture of caramelized brown sugar, cinnamon, and crushed peanuts. You can mainly get this at markets across South Korea like Namdaemun and Gwanjang. The one I'm having in this video was found at the Namdaemun Market, which is one of my favorite markets in South Korea. Speaking of the Namdaemun Market, make sure you head down to Hairtail Alley while you're there. It is a small, almost hidden corner of the market that's dedicated to one dish, Galchi Jorim, aka spicy braised hairtail fish stew, a bold and comforting Korean dish featuring hairtail fish braised in a rich, spicy sweet sauce. The stew is typically simmered with radish, garlic, scallions, and a generous amount of gochugaru, aka Korean red pepper flakes, to create a flavorful broth that goes perfectly with rice and a host of banchan. All the restaurants along this alley serve the same dish, but I dropped by Hoirak Galchi where you can get a $12 set meal with the main dish, banchan, rice, and even a free steamed egg, aka keranjim. It is still to date one of the best things I've had in Seoul, and honestly this place is not talked about enough. This next place that I'm going to talk about has gone viral all over the socials, but I have honestly put off visiting it for ages because I was like, rotisserie chicken, I can get that back home. But then I found out that Hanam Oriental Roast Chicken doesn't just serve normal rotisserie chicken. The chicken is actually stuffed with sticky rice, ginkgo nuts, and jujube before being slowly roasted over firewood. The result is this chicken chicken with a crispy golden exterior and a flavorful, juicy interior. There is no menu here. Instead, they'll just ask you how many chickens you want before serving it up with side condiments, rice, and your drinks of choice. I was honestly surprised at how good this was, and if you like Samgyetang, you are definitely gonna love this. It is, in my opinion, a must try, though brace yourself for some queuing. This next one is one of the newer places that I checked out this trip, but was one that I almost immediately fell in love with, so much so that I actually went back twice. Seowon Juk has actually been open since 1986 and are known for serving generous bowls of congee. I've tried both their flagship premium abalone congee and mushroom oyster congee, which are both topped off with some sesame seeds and a raw egg yolk. They also come with some banchan and this squid kimchi, which I believe is unique to this restaurant. I'm actually planning a return trip in winter, and you can bet that this place will be on my list again. Speaking of new places that I went to this trip, I finally made it to this restaurant in Seoul that's famous for their salmon noodles. Yes, you heard that right. Myeondong, which is located in the trendy Mapogu area, is a Japanese restaurant that serves up many different dishes, but are really most known for their salmon noodles that comprises silky ribbons of fresh salmon sashimi sliced to resemble noodles that is then served over a bed of crispy vegetables and chilled in a tangy, icy tomato-like broth that is actually quite rich with flavors. The meal also includes some shrimp tempura to add some crunch to the meal. I usually set fairly realistic expectations when I visit restaurants that have gone viral and walked in with fairly low expectations, but I have to say, the combination of the relaxing restaurant interior, awesome service, and the delicious salmon noodles makes this place a worthy addition to your places to eat in Seoul. All the places I've talked about in this video are strictly in Seoul, South Korea, but if you have the time, I highly recommend heading out to South Korea's capital of fried chicken, aka Suwon. It is located about 35 kilometers away from Seoul. I took a bus there and it took me roughly about an hour. You are here to check out a street located behind the famous Suwon Fortress that is literally called the Chicken Street. And honestly, any restaurant here will be a good choice. I picked Namdaemun fried chicken as the menu looked promising, and honestly, best fried chicken I've had in my life. Crispy on the outside, but oh so juicy on the inside. If you love fried chicken, Suwon is an absolute must visit. Now for your convenience, I'm going to place all the Naver map links of the locations I've mentioned in this video into a single document that you can download and keep as a guide throughout your trip. I'm even going to throw in a few other places that I did not mention in this video, and even a little pre-travel checklist. You can download said document via a link in my description box. I do hope that you found value in today's video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things that you know are going to appease those holy YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly will just make my day as a content creator. Specifically, if you do have some questions or feedback for me, feel free to drop those in the comment section, as I do love hearing from people who take the time to watch my videos. If you're headed to South Korea for the first time, you may find my first timer's guide to South Korea video useful. I'm gonna link that video at the end of this video so that you can go ahead and check that out next. And if you got to this particular point, I want to thank you so much for watching. I know I say this every single week, but that's because I really do mean it when I say it means absolutely everything. And so wherever or whenever this video finds you, I hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've really had a good day. As always, I will see you real soon in the next video. Ciao!